What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to another Vegas odds breakdown. I'm your host, fight analyst Garrett Kerman, and with me, as always, is my man Joe Danger himself, Jessie Hobson. What's up, man? How's it going? Long time no see. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Yeah, a man of the people. I am here. I got back from the North Pole. Doing a little internship, if you will. But now I'm here to talk about fights. And I did get a couple UFC cards for Christmas. I got a really nice Ian Gary card.
Nice.
Hopefully I can get some more. As the season continues.
That's pretty dope. I got a cool new addition to my podcast setup here that I will be putting up shortly if I find out how to do so. It's not that easy, but we'll get there. But New Year's Eve, we have a great fight card. Cage Warriors 148 on tap. UFC Fight Pass. I believe it starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely looking forward to it. I think it's an absolutely great card. 3 title fights. Actually, only 2 of the title fights are on the main card, and then the other title fight is actually on the prelims, which is kind of crazy the way they stacked it up. But I think it's a great card. You have Jesse Taylor coming back. You really haven't seen much of him since The Ultimate Fighter. It's gonna be interesting to see him fight such a young, up-and-coming, prospect in Christian Leroy Duncan. Modestus Bukauskas is back. Coming off a great win, going against Chuck Campbell for the light heavyweight championship. Wilson Hayes, also UFC veteran. This is USA versus Europe, so I think it's gonna be a good one. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Fun to kind of dig into these fights. A lot of these are familiar faces, and if they aren't familiar, they just recently fought. So we, like you mentioned, Bukauskas. I also want to throw a little bit of some Chuck Campbell in there, coming off the
good win.
The win over Andy Clamp. And then you also mentioned Christian Leroy Duncan. Those guys just fought. I mean, Duncan fought 3 weeks ago. Campbell fought a month ago. I mean, there's some names on this card, and then if they're names you're not familiar with, or maybe you're kind of familiar with, you might as well get familiar because they're going to be around for a bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. Let's just start right on the first fight on the main card, which I believe to be the fight in the middleweight division. Am I right? I believe I'm right here. Our first fight up at 185 pounds. We got Darren Stewart, the UFC veteran, taking on Guilherme Cadena. I'm really bad with names, guys. I probably butchered that. Right now, that line, Darren Stewart is a minus 435.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shitballs. And the comeback on Candela.
Yeah, Stewart should win this fight, but the odds for me are just too wide. Like I remember back when during the COVID times, they had that, wasn't he on a Cage Warriors card back then? And he was a heavy favorite on that one and ended up losing. He's obviously faced the better.
I cashed big on that one.
Ooh. I remember that. Yeah.
By decision too.
Yep. I mean, and then you can look at underneath his name. I mean, there's a lot of red there. But here's the thing. He's obviously faced the better talent. And he just hasn't looked good lately, though. Right. I don't know, but I can't help but feel that he's probably going to shit the bed again. I'm a fan of the guy. It's just difficult to put money on him when the odds are what they are. Cadena is skilled. But he isn't Dustin Jacoby. If this goes to the ground, hell, if Cadena gets one hook in, this might be his fight. This is probably his fight. He can win standing too. He has won, KOs, but his path to victory is on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb here, and I'm going to take Cadena by sub. But even straight up, you said plus 350. There's multiple books plus 330, plus 325. I mean, you're going to get some pretty good odds. It's hard to put the money on Stewart. He's let us down many times before, especially in fights that he should have won.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fathom playing a guy that's 0-4-1 in his last 5 fights at minus 450. That's fucking insane. And he just hasn't looked himself. He really hasn't. He's looked like he's only 32 years old, but the man looks like he's pushing 36, 37 in there. He slows down mightily, doesn't have great takedown defense. Now he's going against a specialist on the ground. If he's able to get taken down, good chance he's staying on the mat. Good chance he's probably getting subbed. For that reason, I cannot take Stewart. Could Stewart go in there and land a haymaker, get a knockout? Sure. But is it, close to like like 90+% of that happening. I would take a shot on the dog here. Dog or pass situation. That's entirely up to you. I just can't fathom playing the line at Stewart minus 450, considering his biggest glaring weakness is getting taken down. Eric Anders was able to take him down at will, keep him there on the mat. Eric Anders, not a great grappler, not the best wrestler. Not saying Cadena is Eric Anders of sorts, but I feel he's competent enough to be able to get this fight to the mat at some point. So yeah, give me Cadena here plus 350. Next fight, I think, is this one in the men's featherweight division between Damon Wilson and Tobias Harila. All right, this line is set at minus 120 for Tobias, and the comeback on Wilson at plus 100.
You know, at first glance, I'd assume that this fight was probably set up to showcase the Alliance MMA products, but surprisingly, he is the dog in this one. He's faced decent talent since going pro, and after watching a bit of tape, I can see that Harara, you know, he's just as skilled too. Both guys come into this fight.
Well, you have 80% of pathology taking the dog here.
What's that?
80% of pathology is taking the dog.
Really? Okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, I'd like to see their tickets because, I mean, everyone that I saw on Twitter, you know, is going with Tobias as well. I mean, both guys do have a nice set of tools, you know, but considering the terror that Wilson is on, I'm going to have to side with the dog money here and hope for the best. I think Wilson gets it done. I think he gets it done via decision.
So as far as this fight goes, I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a back and forth, closely contested fight. You know, you have the Alliance product here, like you stated, out of San Diego, taking his talents overseas to the UK. I believe that would be his first time over there. We don't know what he's going through with his weight cut, and that I always have to kind of take that into consideration. He's very young in his career. He's only 5-0. He's having to go fight in enemy territory in their own country. You're not really in their own country because he's from, I think, like Nordic or something like that. But you know, over in the other parts of the world where he's in, you know, in Europe, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how his head is going into this fight. You know, I'm not really leaning to bet this fight. I think it's gonna be a good, closely contested fight. It's really hard to choose a side here because they're both good. A bit everywhere. I think I might have to side with Tobias just because he's got the home field advantage, right? He's got fans that are actually going to be there, like looking forward to him fighting. Also got double the amount of experience, and I just got to go with that. I feel like that will kind of overcome maybe some of the skill gaps that Wilson may have over Tobias. But yeah, I'm taking Tobias here, minus 120. Not really going to bet it, but I think Tobias gets the job done. Our next fight up, we got a fight in the bantamweight division between Tumbas Grandval and Wilson Ace. UFC staple, Wilson Ace. Right now, line is minus 125 for Hayes, back of Grandval, plus 105.
Yeah, you know, it is nice to see Wilson Hayes back in there. You know, it doesn't even seem like that long ago he was still in the UFC. And, you know, despite coming off a win, Hayes is getting up there in age. You know, he is battle-tested, but he's also battle-worn. And like always, he comes into this one undersized. Grandval has been a decision machine as of late, but he does occasionally find the finish. I'm ultimately siding with youth here, but regardless of the winner, this one should go to the scorecards. Grandval is the dog on a few books, so be like me and bet on that height and reach advantage while you can. I think that he's worth the stab. You know, Hayes has a lot of really good battles behind him. I'm just not sure he has that many good battles ahead of him.
At first glance, I wanted to take Hayes because, you know, he's a UFC product. We already know what you're getting from him. Good grappler, super tough, super durable for the most part. Fought great in elite competition. But like you said, he's definitely the much smaller fighter of the two. He lacks size, he lacks power, he lacks speed. Hayes is a bit more, obviously, technical, especially in the grappling realm. But Grandval is the much better wrestler. I mean, he's got some really good double leg takedowns, good single legs, good trips. He's a really good wrestler, good ground and pound, good control, good back take. I'm taking Grandval here. I think we're getting a good price at plus 105. I think it's great to fade Wilson Hayes, who didn't look good in his last fight. He won via split decision against a Joe Schmo. He's 37 years old, and I like to fade aging fighters that have a ton of wear and tear. This guy's going into his 38th professional fight. You know, Grunwald's only, 28 years old. He's extremely young. He's got a much higher ceiling at this point. And I'm taking, like you said, I'm taking the youth, I'm taking the size, and I'm taking the speed advantages of Grunwald getting the job done for us. And moving on to our co-main event in the light heavyweight division for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Modestas Bukauskas taking on Chuck Campbell. Right now, the line is minus 295 for Bukauskas, and to come back on Campbell plus 245. Who do you got?
That line's already moved quite a bit just today. You know, I like both of these guys quite a bit. And, you know, Campbell made easy work of Andy Clamp a month ago. And I was all over that dog money there. You know, here I'm expecting more of the same. Is Bukauskas, you know, is he really back? Is he ready? You know, he fought a month ago to a decision as well. You know, is it too much too soon? Because of this, I'm going to have to take another stab at Campbell here, especially in a 5-rounder. That's a lot of time for him to find Bukauskas' chin, or maybe he can hurt his leg. Either way, I feel like this should be a good one. I like Chuck Campbell. I like him by KO or inside the distance, whatever you can get, whatever your book is offering, you know, take that money and run.
This is such a massive competition for Chuck Campbell. Like,
I know,
immensely huge step up in competition on a month's notice to fight a guy that was in the UFC, arguably won a couple fights in the UFC, came back and fucked up a veteran in the cage, and now he's got to go fight a guy that's arguably better than him in every aspect of the game. I just can't fathom the job done here. I just don't see it. Yes, he had a good win his last time out, but against a guy that's nowhere near the level of Bukauskas. Never will be on the level of Bukauskas. Bukauskas, very good from range, very good kicks, utilizes his distance very well. He went in there against guys like Michael Olajaychik, went the distance with him. I don't think he's going to get knocked the fuck out by Campbell over here. I just can't fathom that. And the only time he really got finished was that freak fucking, you know, kick to the oh man.
The shin.
Man, that was so bad. I'm just thinking about it now. If I'm Khalil Roundtree, that was bad. But anyways, I just can't fathom Bukauskas losing to a guy that's 5-1 right now. They're giving him a layup to be the next light heavyweight champion. They're giving it to him. They're like, here, beat this guy. Here's your belt. Get 1 or 2 more wins. Get your ass back into the UFC. So this is your easy ride, easy road. Here's a quick 4 or 5 easy wins. You're the light heavyweight champion. Here are the Cage Warriors. And then we'll ship your ass back to the UFC. That's exactly what's going to happen here, and I'm expecting that.
I'm expecting a technical KO via leg hurt.
Bro, I would feel so fucking bad for Bukauskas if Chuck Campbell, or anybody for that matter, would just to kick this man in the knee and him blow out his ACL again.
Yeah, it would suck. The guy's a good talent. I don't know. I'm betting on Lightning striking twice. The line is a little too wide for my liking.
I think you're just got that little dog bias over here. He hit for you once, and I totally get it. Totally get it. You know, so you kind of want to hit it again, but we'll see what happens. I just think Bukauskas is back. I mean,
I think was on Andy Clamp. Everyone.
We're finally up to our main event for the Cage Warriors Middleweight Championship. We have Christian Leroy Duncan taking on Jessie Taylor. That's right. Ultimate Fighter winner. Jessie Taylor is back in action, and the line is astronomical, as I expected. Minus 600 for Christian Leroy Duncan. The comeback on Taylor plus 450. What do you got?
Yeah, it is nice to see JT money back. You know, if I remember correctly, he was on the same season as Krause, at least the second time. Pretty crazy to think that Duncan only fought 3 weeks ago. You know, he is that guy, and he should roll here. Most, if not all, of Taylor's losses come by submission. The guy is tough, especially when he is dabbling in illegal substances. This time, though, I think Duncan avoids the ground and finds the KO. I also wouldn't be surprised if we see him on Tuesday Night Contender very soon after.
Yep.
I like Christian Leroy Duncan via KO, and it's one of the first ones that Mr. JT Money will be dealt.
Yep, 100% agree with you. Leroy Duncan is just far better than Jesse Taylor, especially now. Jesse Taylor is pushing almost 40 years old. He hasn't fought since a year ago, and he's been mainly grappling competitions more than he has been doing fighting. He's, this is what, fight 50 in his career, which is insane to think about. And Duncan's finally getting into the groove of things. 6-0, 7-0, looking good. Just absolutely steamrolling these guys, and I'm expecting no different here. They're setting like they're doing with Bukowski. It's just the same. And I'm almost certain Duncan gets his finish. This man's sitting out until he gets that spot next summer, guaranteed. And I will be betting on Duncan for sure, because they're going to give him a favorable match, and we know that he's got the style to win on the Contender Series, because he's going to come out there and throw some hands and he's got heavy hands. So I'm expecting him to not only win this, go on to the Contender Series, and then win that as well. I think he's a good prospect. He's looked great. The Cage Warriors are making him look great. They're giving him a reputable name now in Jesse Taylor. Granted, he's on the last stage of his career, but it's still a good win nonetheless. If he's able to defend some takedowns against JT Money and then knock him out, very, very fucking impressive. And I expect him to do that. Yeah,
my parents, they watch UFC, from time to time, and they know who Jesse Taylor is. It's funny to think, but they know who JT Money is, and I mean, they're my parents. They know who Conor McGregor is. They know who JT Money is.
That's crazy.
It is what it is.
All right, so let's do some quick fire picks for the rest of this card. Let's start off in the first fight, the last fight, prelims. Sam Creasy taking on Shajul Hockey for the flyweight championship. Creasy looking to defend his title yet again.
I'm gonna have to say, can you click them? I want to see their stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the champion on this one. I mean, I know that he's ranked higher. I mean, he's obviously defended his belt. He just looks less smug than the other guy. So I think that's ultimately kind of what's my deciding factor here.
Less smug. I love the analysis. All right, I'm just gonna quick fire through this. All right, so I definitely like Sam Creasy. I think he gets the job done. Fought better competition. I think he's on his way to a Contender Series shot. His last loss was Jake Hadley. We know he's fought elite competition. He's looked good. I think he gets the job done. Next up, Dario Bellondi taking on Justin Berry. Me personally, I'm taking Bellondi. I think he's a little bit more seasoned. I think he's got more tools, especially in the ground game. Berry doesn't have much of a ground game there. I'm take a shot on Bellondi there. Who do you got there?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with you. You said he had more tools. He definitely has more happening in his photo as well. The other guy just looks like he was like a mugshot photo. Not prepared for the fight, not prepared for the photo. Not my kind of guy.
All right, next up, Helio Hernandez taking on Jason Blair. I'm gonna side with the guy that is the UNC wrestler, D1 wrestler. Hard to really go against a D1 wrestler against just another Joe Schmo and Helio Hernandez, who's only 1-1 in his career. I feel like it's kind of like one of those wash type of matchups. I'm thinking Jason Blair here.
Yeah, same. The other guy gave fists for Christmas. Helio looks like he had those under the tree. But I'm always going to side with the guy that has the NCAA college get up in his photo. He's all business, man.
All right. We got Emrah Sanmez taking on Adam Mesqueni. I'm siding with Sanmez here. I think he's the better wrestler. He should be able to utilize his ground game and his wrestling to neutralize Mesqueni and get the job done. What do you got here?
Yeah, same as well. There's one rule with MMA. The more difficult the name is to say, the probably better the fighter they are. And his name, there's letters that are back to back that don't belong there. So I know that he's a decent fighter because of which. So I'm going to have to side with him here.
All right. We got Nathan Fletcher taking on Alessandro Giordano. I'm taking Fletcher here. I'm very high on Fletcher. He's obviously a massive favorite. His only blemish was against the former champion, and he looked really good early on. So I'm taking Fletcher here to get the job done. I think it's going to look very impressive. Ground control, some great ground and pound, possibly over a naked choke to end it.
Yeah, Nathan Fletcher, if I remember correctly, I believe I did a little write-up on one of his more recent fights, and then he liked my post after he won the fight. So, the guy has good taste liking my post like that. So I'm going to have to side with him. The other guy, too many syllables in his name, ultimately.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Italian, but he gets steamrolled by the Englishman over here. All right, we got Omeo Brown taking on Junior or I'm gonna say Junior. Okay.
Or Gulia.
I can't even say it. I don't even
Julia Gulia.
Junior Ogulio. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be frank, I really didn't do too much in these last two fights. I'm gonna take Junior just because he's got a weird name that I can't pronounce, and he's got 27 fights under his belt. So yeah, let's go with that guy.
Yeah, he's got the rock tack going on as well.
That's true.
Brown just looks like he's, clocking into work. He has that look on his face like, yep, about to go work on a train or something. The other guy, he looks like an actual fighter. So I'm going to have to side with Junior here.
All right. Our last fight, it's not going to be great analysis. Orlando Wilson Preens taking on Samuel Bark. Who you got in this one?
Man, this is fun, because I know that we're going to get eaten up in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Orlando Wilson pins, it looks like that is like just looking at the little image on my side, it looks like that's a photo taken at like a WWE event and like he's standing on the edge of the ring. But the other guy looks like it's a photo taken in the Garden of Eden. So, I'm not really sure which narrative I prefer, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, no pun intended, and choose the Garden of Eden, Samuel Bark. 2 names versus 3 names. Let's go.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm just going to go Wilson Preens just kind of going against you, and I think he gets it out of the –
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could be in a tag team match. So, I mean, at least he has that going for him.
He does. All right. That's what we got for you guys. Cage Warriors 148.